Hello everyone, Dr. Alan Mandell here. Welcome back to my channel, Science of Healing. Have you ever noticed that the very first sign of aging, the very first warning from your body often shows up in your legs? Not your heart, not your brain, your legs. It starts subtly. You feel a little more tired when climbing stairs, your balance feels slightly off, your knees feel weaker than they used to. And here's the shocking truth. Scientific research shows that loss of leg strength is one of the strongest predictors of future disability, falls, and even reduced lifespan. Your legs are not just for walking. They are the foundation of your independence, your mobility, and your quality of life. Most people think aging begins with wrinkles or gray hair, but the real story often starts much lower, right in your legs. Long before you notice changes in your face, your body quietly begins losing strength in the muscles that carry you through life. And here is the unsettling truth backed by decades of medical research. Your legs are usually the first place where aging reveals itself. It doesn't happen overnight. It begins silently, a missed step, a slower walk, a moment of hesitation before climbing stairs. Scientists have a name for this gradual loss of muscle strength, sarcopenia, a condition that can begin as early as your 30s and accelerates after the age of 50. Research shows that adults can lose 3 to 8% of their muscle mass every decade after age 30, and the decline speeds up dramatically later in life. But what makes this especially dangerous is not just the loss of muscle, it's where that loss happens first. Your legs contain the largest and most powerful muscles in your body. They are responsible for standing, walking, balancing, and protecting you from falls. When these muscles weaken, your entire body becomes vulnerable. In one landmark study, researchers discovered that reduced leg strength was one of the strongest predictors of disability and early mortality in older adults. Not heart disease, not cholesterol, not even blood pressure, weak legs. Another shocking finding revealed that people with weaker leg muscles had a significantly higher risk of hospitalization and loss of independence. Think about that for a moment. The strength in your legs may determine whether you live freely or depend on others for basic daily tasks. And yet, most people ignore the early warning signs. They assume fatigue is normal. They blame age. They accept weakness as inevitable. But your body is not failing you. It is sending you signals. One of the first signals is slower walking speed. Studies show that walking speed is now considered a vital sign by many doctors because it reflects overall health and survival. People who walk more slowly are more likely to experience chronic illness, falls, and reduced lifespan. Another early sign is difficulty standing up from a chair. If rising from a seated position feels harder than it used to, your leg muscles may already be losing strength. This simple movement requires coordination between your muscles, nerves, and balance system. When one part weakens, the entire system struggles. Balance problems are another warning sign that often appears before serious injury occurs. Research shows that poor balance is directly linked to reduced muscle strength in the legs, especially in the thighs and calves. And here's the frightening reality. Falls are one of the leading causes of injury and death among older adults worldwide. Every year, millions of people are hospitalized because of falls. Many never fully recover their independence. Some never walk the same way again. But here is what most people don't realize. These events rarely happen suddenly. They are usually the result of years of gradual muscle loss that went unnoticed. Your legs are like the foundation of a house. When the foundation weakens, the entire structure becomes unstable. Cracks appear, movement becomes risky, and eventually collapse becomes possible. The human body is incredibly resilient, but it depends on strong muscles to stay functional. Leg muscles support your joints, protect your bones, and keep your posture stable. They also play a critical role in circulation, helping pump blood back to the heart. When leg muscles weaken, blood flow slows, energy levels drop, fatigue increases, and physical activity becomes harder, creating a dangerous cycle of inactivity and further muscle loss. This cycle can begin earlier than most people expect. Modern lifestyles have dramatically reduced daily movement. Many people sit for hours at work, drive instead of walking, and rely on technology for tasks that once required physical effort. As movement decreases, muscles shrink, strength fades, balance declines, and the legs are usually the first to suffer. But here is the hopeful part of the story. Your muscles are not fixed. They are living tissue that can grow stronger at any age. Research has shown that even people in their 70s, 80s, and 90s can rebuild muscle strength with the right habits. In fact, studies have demonstrated that strength training and proper nutrition can significantly improve mobility, balance, and independence in older adults. One remarkable study followed elderly participants who began simple strength exercises. Within months, their leg strength improved dramatically. Their walking speed increased. Their risk of falls decreased. And their confidence returned. Confidence is something we rarely talk about when discussing muscle strength, but it matters deeply. When your legs feel strong, you move freely. You explore. You engage with life. When your legs feel weak, fear begins to take control. Fear of falling, fear of pain, fear of losing independence. That fear can shrink your world. Activities you once enjoyed become stressful. Simple outings feel exhausting. Freedom slowly disappears, but strength can bring it back. Strong legs allow you to climb stairs without hesitation. They allow you to carry groceries without strain. They allow you to walk with stability and confidence. Most importantly, strong legs protect your independence. Doctors and researchers now agree on a powerful message. Maintaining leg strength is one of the most important factors in healthy aging. Not expensive treatments, not complicated medications. Strength. And the earlier you take action, the greater the reward. Your body is constantly adapting to the choices you make every day. Move more, and your muscles respond. Eat nourishing foods, and your body rebuilds. Stay active, and your legs remain strong. Ignore those signals, and weakness slowly takes hold. But the story does not have to end that way. No matter your age, your muscles are capable of change. No matter how weak your legs feel today, improvement is possible. No matter how long you have been inactive, strength can return. Your legs carried you through childhood. They carried you through work, family, and life's challenges. They carried you to every place you have ever been. Now they need your support, because the strength in your legs is not just about movement. It is about freedom. It is about dignity. It is about living life on your own terms. What if the strength in your legs, the power that keeps you walking, climbing, and standing tall, is determined not just by exercise, but by what you place on your plate every single day? It sounds simple, almost too simple, yet decades of scientific research reveal a truth that is both shocking and empowering. Nutrition is one of the most powerful forces controlling muscle strength, energy, and mobility. Every bite you take sends instructions to your body. Those instructions can build muscle or slowly break it down. They can fuel strength or accelerate weakness. And here is the reality most people never hear. Your muscles are constantly rebuilding themselves every single day. Old muscle proteins are broken down. New muscle proteins are created. This process is called muscle protein turnover, and it determines whether your legs grow stronger or weaker over time. But this rebuilding process cannot happen without the right nutrients. Without them, your muscles begin to shrink. Strength fades, balance weakens, energy disappears. One of the most critical nutrients for leg strength is protein. Protein is not just for athletes or bodybuilders. It is the raw material your muscles use to repair damage, maintain strength, and prevent loss of muscle mass. Research shows that inadequate protein intake is one of the leading causes of muscle weakness in adults over 50. In fact, Studies have found that many older adults consume far less protein than their bodies require, putting them at higher risk of frailty and falls. Scientists have discovered something even more alarming. As we age, our muscles become less responsive to protein, a condition known as anabolic resistance. This means your body needs more high-quality protein than it did when you were younger just to maintain the same level of strength. Without enough protein, your legs lose muscle fibers. Those fibers are replaced by fat and connective tissue. Movement becomes harder. Stairs feel steeper. Walking feels slower. But protein is only part of the story. Your muscles also depend on vitamins and minerals that act like tiny sparks, igniting the chemical reactions that produce strength and movement. One of the most important is vitamin D. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, but its role goes far beyond bone health. It directly affects muscle function, balance, and coordination. Low vitamin D levels have been strongly linked to muscle weakness, slower walking speed, and increased risk of falls. In one major clinical study, adults with vitamin D deficiency were significantly more likely to experience muscle weakness and mobility problems. When their vitamin D levels were corrected, muscle strength improved and fall risk decreased. Magnesium is another essential nutrient that many people lack. This mineral helps muscles relax after contraction and supports nerve signals that control movement. Without enough magnesium, muscles can cramp, twitch, and fatigue more quickly. Surveys have shown that a large percentage of adults do not meet their daily magnesium needs. The result is subtle but powerful: reduced endurance, slower recovery, and weaker muscles. Potassium is equally important. It helps regulate fluid balance and muscle contractions. Low potassium levels can cause muscle weakness, fatigue, and irregular heart rhythms. Think of potassium as the electrical current that keeps your muscles running smoothly. When that current drops, performance declines. Iron plays another critical role in muscle strength. Iron carries oxygen in your blood to your muscles. Without oxygen, muscles cannot produce energy efficiently. They tire quickly. They weaken quickly. Iron deficiency is one of the most common nutritional problems worldwide, affecting millions of people. Even mild deficiency can lead to fatigue, reduced stamina, and decreased physical performance. But there is another hidden factor that silently damages muscles: chronic inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or infection. But when inflammation becomes constant, it begins to break down muscle tissue. It interferes with muscle repair. It accelerates aging. Scientists have found that diets high in processed foods, refined sugars, and unhealthy fats increase inflammation in the body. Over time, this inflammation contributes to muscle loss and weakness. On the other hand, diets rich in whole foods, vegetables, fruits, lean proteins, and healthy fats reduce inflammation and protect muscle tissue. Omega-3 fatty acids found in foods like fish and nuts are particularly powerful. They help reduce inflammation and support muscle protein synthesis, the process that builds new muscle. In clinical trials, people who consumed higher amounts of omega-3 fats showed improved muscle strength and physical performance compared to those who did not. Another critical nutrient is calcium. Most people associate calcium with bones, but it also plays a direct role in muscle contraction. Every time you take a step, calcium enters your muscle cells and triggers movement. Without enough calcium, muscles cannot contract properly. Weakness follows. Balance suffers. Hydration is another factor that is often overlooked. Muscles are made up of about 75% water. When your body becomes dehydrated, muscle function declines rapidly, strength decreases, coordination suffers, fatigue sets in faster. Even mild dehydration can reduce physical performance and increase the risk of cramps and falls. But perhaps the most powerful message of all is this: nutrition works silently. You may not feel the effects immediately. There is no sudden warning, no dramatic symptom. Instead, the impact builds slowly over months and years. Every nutrient you consume becomes part of your muscles. Every deficiency becomes a hidden weakness. The food you eat today becomes the strength you rely on tomorrow. Imagine your muscles as a construction site. Protein is the building material. Vitamins and minerals are the workers. Water is the transport system. Healthy fats are the protective shield. Remove any one of these elements and the structure begins to fail. But supply them consistently and the structure becomes stronger than ever. This is why nutrition is not just about weight or appearance. It is about function. It is about resilience. It is about survival. Strong muscles allow you to move freely. They protect your joints. They stabilize your body. They keep you independent. And independence is one of the greatest gifts of health. The science is clear. The evidence is overwhelming. Your daily nutrition choices shape the strength of your legs more than you might ever imagine. Every meal is an opportunity. Every snack is a decision. Every nutrient is a building block. You are not powerless against weakness. You are not helpless against aging. You have control 3 times a day, every day, through the food you choose. You don't lose strength in your legs in a single moment. It doesn't collapse suddenly like an accident. It happens quietly, repeatedly, through the smallest choices you make every day. And science is now revealing something both alarming and hopeful. Consistent daily habits can either protect your muscles for life or slowly erase your independence without you noticing. Every step you take is powered by a system your body is constantly maintaining. Muscle fibers repair themselves, nerves communicate with precision, bones respond to pressure, and your brain coordinates balance in real time. But this entire system depends on one critical factor: consistency. Researchers have found that muscle strength is not only about age, it is about activity patterns repeated over time. When movement decreases, even slightly, the body begins a process called deconditioning. And once deconditioning begins, it accelerates faster than most people realize. In studies on aging populations, scientists discovered something shocking. Just 2 to 3 weeks of reduced activity can lead to measurable loss of muscle strength, especially in the legs. That means even short periods of inactivity, like illness, travel, or prolonged sitting, can begin weakening the foundation of your mobility. But here is where it becomes even more serious. Once muscle is lost, it is far harder to rebuild than it was to maintain. This phenomenon is known as muscle memory decline, and it becomes more pronounced with age. Your legs are particularly vulnerable because they are designed for movement, not stillness. They were built through evolution to walk, climb, squat, and carry weight. When that pattern disappears, the body adapts in the opposite direction. It conserves energy by reducing muscle tissue. It shifts toward efficiency instead of strength. And slowly, power is traded for survival. But this is not an inevitable fate. It is a reversible process, if addressed early enough. One of the most powerful protective habits is regular physical movement, even in simple forms. Research shows that walking alone can significantly slow down age-related muscle decline. Not intense workouts, not extreme training, just consistent movement. A major long-term study found that adults who walked regularly had far better leg strength, balance, and independence compared to those who were sedentary. Their risk of disability was significantly lower. Their quality of life was significantly higher. But walking is just one piece of the puzzle. Another critical habit is resistance activity, which includes simple body weight movements like standing up from a chair, climbing stairs, or light strength exercises. These movements send a powerful signal to your muscles. You are still needed. Without that signal, the body assumes strength is no longer required and begins breaking down muscle tissue. This is one of the most overlooked truths in medical science. Muscles only stay strong when they are regularly used. Even small daily actions matter more than people realize. Standing instead of sitting, taking stairs instead of elevators, walking short distances instead of avoiding movement. Each of these actions triggers micro-level adaptations in your muscle fibers. They improve circulation, they enhance nerve signaling, they maintain joint flexibility, but inactivity does the opposite. Extended sitting has been called the new smoking by health researchers due to its widespread impact on metabolism, circulation, and muscle health. When you sit for long periods, blood flow to your legs slows down, muscles become inactive, energy use drops, and over time, strength diminishes. Studies using imaging technology have shown that prolonged sitting is directly associated with reduced muscle size in the lower body. Even individuals who exercise occasionally are not fully protected if they spend most of the day sitting. This is where consistency becomes the defining factor. Your body does not respond to occasional effort. It responds to repeated signals over time. One workout cannot reverse years of inactivity. One healthy meal cannot undo a poor diet. One walk cannot restore lost muscle. But daily repetition can rebuild everything. Researchers studying longevity have found that people who maintain simple, consistent movement habits throughout life tend to preserve leg strength far better than those who rely on sporadic exercise routines. Consistency also affects balance systems in the brain. Yes, your balance is not just in your legs. It is controlled by the brain's coordination with your inner ear, eyes, and muscle feedback systems. When movement is consistent, the brain receives constant feedback about body position. This improves stability and reduces fall risk. When movement is inconsistent, that feedback weakens. Balance becomes less reliable, and hesitation increases. That hesitation is often the first step toward reduced mobility. But there is another hidden factor that plays a major role: confidence. When people begin to feel weak in their legs, they subconsciously move less. They avoid stairs, they avoid walking long distances, they avoid situations where they might feel unstable. This avoidance creates a feedback loop. Less movement leads to more weakness. More weakness leads to more fear leads to even less movement, and this cycle, once established, becomes extremely difficult to break. But science shows that even small increases in daily movement can interrupt this cycle. Just a few minutes of intentional activity spread throughout the day can begin reversing deconditioning. The body responds quickly to renewed demand. Muscles re-engage. Circulation improves. Energy increases. It is never too late to send your body a new message. You are still strong. You are still capable. You still need your legs. Another important habit is posture awareness. Standing tall is not just about appearance. It directly affects muscle activation. Proper posture engages stabilizing muscles in the legs and core, helping maintain strength even during simple standing or walking. Poor posture, on the other hand, reduces muscle engagement and increases strain on joints. Over time, this contributes to weakness and imbalance. Sleep is also deeply connected to muscle recovery. During deep sleep, the body releases growth hormone, which plays a critical role in repairing muscle tissue. Poor sleep quality has been linked to reduced muscle recovery, slower healing, and increased fatigue. Inadequate rest weakens the body's ability to maintain strength, even if diet and exercise are adequate. Hydration, nutrition, movement, sleep, these are not separate systems. They work together as one integrated network. When one fails, the others are affected. But when all are aligned, the body becomes remarkably resilient, even in later years. This is the core truth science continues to confirm. Your body is constantly adapting to your daily habits, not your intentions, not your past, your present actions. Every day is a signal. Every movement is a message. Every habit is either building strength or quietly reducing it. And the most powerful realization of all is this: you are not fighting against aging alone. You are shaping how your body experiences aging through what you do repeatedly. Weakness is not sudden, it is accumulated, but so is strength. And with the right daily habits, your legs can remain powerful, stable, and capable far longer than most people ever imagine.